Hi everyone. I just finished this album of horses journal. It was a custom order for someone I know from the farmer's market. She brought me the book and some additional pages and some other stuff. And she asked me to make it into a journal for her. So the book originally had about a 1/2 inch spine. So I did take, I actually cut the spine right down the middle of the original spine. And then I attached it to some Tyvek, and then put some Craft Tex on there to cover it, and it came out really good. I'm happy with the way it looks. I like the way that looks with the stitching. So by actually saving part of the original spine, I was able to glue it on, so I didn't actually have to cover up really any of the original cover. So there's the front and the back. This is a beautiful book with all those beautiful illustrations from Marguerite Henry. My customer asked me to put a lot of the original full-page color illustrations in the journal, so I did. And, it's just a little bit stiff, but when you open it, when you have it open, it does eventually lay flat. So anyway, this is the original title page. I did add some stitching. So I had to basically tear a lot of the pages in half and use cloth or something to attach it to another page. So there was a lot of stitching involved in this one. So this is a picture that she wanted in there. So it's mostly horses, although she does like also a few other things like Art Deco, and well, you'll see when I flip through it. She supplied this, which I thought these were really cute. It's one of the original illustrations. A lot of the illustrations, I did other pages on the back just to try to get more stuff in that she wanted, which was some writing space she wanted, but not a lot. And then there were pages from another book, which was this one, and it had some poetry about horses in it, so I included that also. So here I have, and then she had these adult coloring book pictures that she had done, or somebody had done. So she wanted me to include some of those, which was a challenge since they were pretty brightly colored, and tried to kind of work them in as best I could. But I did show her this Cavallini poster that I got, and she really liked that, so I put some of that in. And this is just was some of the smaller illustrations from the original book that I added there for decorating that page. So she likes Maxfield Parrish, like I do too, and I actually have a book of his prints, so I included that. And here I just pieced some pages together with parts that I knew she was interested in. So her idea for making pockets was to take a little simple child stenciling book on horses and then put something in the back of it. So here I put some fabric behind it. I thought kind of like the way that came out. And then she had these this card and many of these beautiful 30s style postcards. This one is actually just a print, and some of them are original. So I just love those. Those are gorgeous. So I used some handmade paper. This page here is actually from one of the Walter Foster books on how to paint horses. And she really loved this. I showed her this and she really loved it, so I decided to put that in here too. And there's some more handmade paper. So here's another one of the stencil pockets I made. This time I put some handmade paper behind it and added these two cards, which were hers. These were some of the additional pages she wanted me to include, and then a page of German scrap with these really neat horse images on them. I used all of that because I love that stuff. There's the rest of the Maxfield Parrish poster. And the rest of the Cavallini poster. So here I put another pocket, same technique, stencil with paper behind it, and a couple of her cards. So this is one of the original pages. Marguerite Henry, she's just an amazing artist. Her books are so beautiful. Love these colored illustrations. This was some stationery that she had that she asked me to put in, so I did. So that's the first signature. You can see the cloth I used. This is what I actually bound the signatures to, was this piece of cloth with some craft text behind it. So here she likes 30s style Art Deco stuff. So I showed her this picture of this old Cadillac from a magazine, and she really liked it. It's a neat picture. And then here I stitched some writing paper on the back of that print, and some harnesses and stuff from my old 1929 Ward's catalog. Which were kind of interesting. The boots were from the catalog also. This is some just really nice handmade paper that I have. Lots of flowers and stuff in it. And I made a pocket out of a piece of vellum, Tim Holtz vellum, for these two cards. I like that she's holding a gun, and this page is about hunting, so that goes together. This lady that I made it for is an equestrian, and she's written several books about equestrians or training horses, that kind of thing. So she's really into horses. Aren't these pretty? And she did like the map pages, so I do too. So I like to use those as just a page to put pictures and stuff on. And here's a pocket I made out of fabric and one of her postcards. This is an original. A few of the pages were kind of hard to turn, so I made little tabs, and I used some postage stamps I have that have horses on them. So here's, for example, well, not that one, but like this one here. I've got a bunch of these. I went through my stamps and found all the ones with horses and used a lot of them. So here's a page from an Art Deco book I have, which she likes. It's kind of interesting doing a journal for somebody else and not just to put out on the shelf and sell. So here I stitched this page from the original book to some stationery that she had. And there's some more of the handmade paper, and I put a little thumb holder here because this page has fabric on it, and this gives you something to hold on to. Another picture from the coloring book, which I fussy cut and glued down to this tea-stained paper. And I have some of those Seven Gypsies rub-ons. So this one, I remembered that I had this on the sheet, so it went really well with this circus horse here. And these are prints from an old Currier and Ives book I have. So these are some race horses, which I know she'll like. And more from the catalog. And here's a picture of her sitting on a horse, 1954. Isn't that cute? She's all dressed up. Look, she's even got little chaps on and everything. Another rub-on. I saved all the pages that were mostly blank to include for writing space. So that's the second signature. Look at that beautiful Libizon. So I did a lot of stitching just to add some interest, and plus I had stitched 2 pages together here. And just a little handmade paper there. These were some of the additional materials she gave me. They're from an old book on writing. And another tab from a postage stamp. And I also have a book on Chinese brush strokes. And there was one on how to draw a horse, paint a horse. Handmade paper. One of her prints. The book plate from the original book. So page from some of the materials she gave me had pictures on them like this, so I used that to decorate a pocket with another old postcard. I just glued that in. It's got a little sticky. So more from the map book and from the catalog. A neat Western hat, 1929. So this is another one of the pages from the adult coloring book that I fussy cut and glued to this beautiful handmade paper. Thought it looked nice. Another tab. She loved the horse in the Art Deco book. And so here I just made a little pocket and tucked in a few things that I had, because I went through my pictures and I'm always on the lookout for interesting pictures, and I have this one. That's an original. The rest of these are ones that I printed. There's a guy all duded up. And I love this picture, this lady riding the big longhorn bull or cow, whatever. And another picture of a guy with a couple of horses. I think they probably are work horses. And my business card with a seahorse. So here's another one of the stencils that I stitched to some handmade paper. And it has one of those beautiful prints in it. So you can see I tried to use decorative stitching a lot just because it adds a little more interest when I was stitching pages together, which I had to stitch a lot of pages together. And just some writing space. Another page from the adult coloring book. And I'll put a tab on this one just to make it a little easier to flip. And one of my paper-covered paper clips is holding this print down. And then on the other side, it's holding this because these had pictures on both sides that were so interesting that I wanted to use all of it. So this flips up so you can see that. And this flips up so you can see that. So, and just so to keep it from flipping when you don't want it to, I put this paper clip. Handmade paper. Another page from the Chinese painting book. Some of her stationery. I should cover that up because it's got her address on it. And another page from the original book stitched together with another one. So that's the end of it. So it was interesting to do this one. It's not something I would have picked to do, but she asked me, and she's been a customer for a while, so I wanted to do it for her, but I generally do not do custom orders. This one took a couple of weeks to do because when I'm doing something for somebody else like that, I become kind of a perfectionist, so it's a challenge. But now I'm looking forward to getting back to making the journals that I want to make. I have plans to make another nature-themed, maybe a couple, and also some with children's book pages, which I love. My 2 favorite subjects. Okay, thanks for watching.